What innocent item gets suspicious if you own too much of it? Dog cages. For me, water. My neighbors had well water and would dry up. They asked if they could run a hose and put it in their well, they would pay what was owed. Did this out last summer, no big deal, they paid. Then they bought a big above ground pool. Filled it for them, they always paid, my part was always around the same so I wasn't bent out of shape. One day the water meter guy knocked with an officer wanting to know why I was using so much water. I explained, showed them many hoses to reach my neighbors, and they were there to help explain. They explained to me that much water usage was throwing a red flag. So they were sent out to investigate to make sure no marijuana growing was happening. Plot twist: your neighbors were growing weed. Plot twist: the water meter guy was looking for a supplier. Pictures of a person. Drain cleaner. Canned air dusters. Some people like to get high off them. I worked at a pool supply store. They sell an extra strong peroxide as an alternative to chlorine. IDKY, but we had to report large purchases to the FBI. Reported this guy after we used his customer info to search his address on Google Earth. It was rural and had a few different outbuildings. Seemed sketchy. FBI got back to us a few weeks later. He was using the chemical to clean animal skulls he bought from a slaughterhouse. Then he carved the skulls and sold them. The FBI lady said he showed her his whole process and it was pretty impressive. Cough syrup. Freezers. I saw what I would describe as a suspicious amount of peanut butter in the bed of a truck once. I think 2 or 3 12-pack cases. Duct tape. Bleach. Dolls. Mayonnaise. Just trying to learn a new instrument. Kidneys 2 is enough. 3 or more is going to raise some questions. Cardboard cutouts. You have one cardboard cutout and it's a novelty decoration, but you have a room full of them and it gets a little weird. Bathtubs. What? Bathtubs. Cucumbers and bananas. Hey, these math questions won't make themselves. Vaseline. I have a skin condition and petroleum jelly is one of the few cost-effective ways to alleviate it. Being a natural homebody, I prefer to go out to the store as little as possible, so I usually buy in bulk, and the cashier's face usually ranges from shock, disgust, to occasionally intrigue. Speaking from experience, having a clock obsession in addition to a barbed wire collection. My grandfather has just a ridiculous number of clocks and a very thorough barbed wire collection on the walls. If you didn't know any better, when you walk into a couple of rooms you might swear you were about to die garroted with barbed wire, and with the last words you ever hear being a bad pun about "looks like your time is up." Crucifixes. Crosses. Religious symbols in general. A few is fine, but more than a few is a big red flag. Toenails. Children's toys, if you don't have children. Rope. What if they have a boat? Maybe if it's an ice boat. Candles. 1 to 2. You like good smells and a little atmosphere. More than 5. You try to summon spirits on your free time. Or you're hiding a corpse. Well, yeah, where else is the spirit gonna go? I may or may not have a bag of candles and candles everywhere in my house. $100 bills. Nah, if you have a bundle of hundreds, I'd assume you're buying a car off Craigslist or something. It's when you have a duffel bag of 10s and 20s that I'd be a bit more suspicious. Can confirm, just did this exact thing and had more $100 bills than I'd ever had at one time before. You must be my buyer. Same place, same time, same dark alleyway? Well, okay. As long as I wake up in the same bathtub again, I've pretty much got the route back to my house down pat now. Foreign bank accounts and safe deposit boxes in Swiss banks. Or British Islands. How many British Islands is the right number to have? Asking for a friend. As many as you can afford is the right answer. Go wild. Buy them all. A girlfriend. It gets very suspicious if you get another one. Children's bicycles. Every year there's that one house, usually a little off the beaten path, that has a wild number of children's bikes on the front lawn. This isn't Mormon country, you don't have that many damn kids. Did you steal them? Buy them at other yard sales? Did you kidnap the owners? Why do you have so many bikes? $1 bills. Wait a here. Been mistaken for a stripper too many times. Playing Pokemon Go. Yes, that game that absolutely destroyed summer in 2016. Ever since the attention died down a bit, it's quite an enjoyable game. But it feels weird walking to places just for a Pokestop then walking back. It feels quite questionable just by playing the game in general and walking around in places. Especially at my age. People often look down on teens thinking they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. But in reality, I just wish people wouldn't stare me down when I walk to my local community center and spinning a Pokestop disc. Today I had a customer buy 7 pounds of different types of salami, sliced extra thin. Do you know how much salami that is? Fire alarms. Apparently the FBI gets real nervous if you buy a pack of 20. And yes, I mean the small kind you put up in your kid's room with the tiny blinking light that beeps annoyingly in the middle of the night when the batter is low. Fun fact, those fire alarms contain nuclear material and enough of them can be used for dirty bombs. Dart. Mugs. I have about 50 novelty mugs and counting. My favorite so far is a rosebud mug that got painted green by a mistake so it looks like lettuce. But my fiancé was concerned for me when we moved in together and he saw them all. Phones, like one for personal use and one for work. That's normal, but if you own 20 of them, that's a little weird. Edit. 3 minutes ago this had less than 1,000 upvotes. Thanks guys. Edit 2. Half an hour ago this has less than 1,700 upvotes. Now it has 2.5k. Thanks again. Edit 3. I got gold for whatever reason. Thanks a third time. Our award speech edits. Either tech geek that loves collecting phones, or drug cartel member with lots of spare burner phones, or a Pokemon Go live streamer, or old Pokemon Go player. It used to feel strange buying 16 bottles of rubbing alcohol at a time. Not anymore. Why is it not weird anymore? People making their own hand sanitizer using it to disinfect surfaces. Ah yes, I forgot about our current pandemic. Duct tape, screwdrivers, ice picks, bleach, lye, hammers, axes, chainsaws, kitty litter, knives. You know, all the good murder stuff. Kitty litter? I'm guessing to possibly clean up blood, but I could very well be wrong. I don't know dude, I'm not a murderer. But I would surely find bags and bags of kitty litter suspicious. A co-worker of mine was once on the news for having too many suits of armor on his front lawn. He was an interesting fellow. VHS tapes. I went into this guy's double wide a while back, was a paratransit driver, and literally every open wall in the place was occupied by a bookshelf which was filled with multiple layers of tapes. I could not read the labels and honestly didn't want to. Gave me the creeps. I knew a guy like this. His entire house covered in VHS. All movies. Blockbuster had nothing on him. Glue, one or two containers sure, but once you get to the 20s then the questions get asked. Unless you're an elementary school teacher, not anymore. Mix it with water and borax and it becomes slime. All the kids are doing it. Duct tape pictures of one person cleaning supplies, bullets, guns. Edit. Children, I will think of more. No such thing as too much ammo. Sure there is, it's just a way higher number than most people think. Slaves. Hold up. What's tripping you up? The slaves part or the innocent slaves part? Because I can assure you I only keep innocent slaves. FBI has joined the chat. Watermelons. My math book prepared me for this though. Kitchen knives. I guess. As a chef and knife enthusiast collector, I hope it isn't too bad. Apparently cups of ice. My friend was getting 8 ice cups from Starbucks so our group could pour our soda into something. The barista had to clarify just ice like 4 times. Rubber duckies. Especially if you begin leaving your duckies behind everywhere you go, leaving people to wonder when and how a ducky ended up in their shower. I have an itidophobia, the fear of rubber ducks. So yes. A human head. It's pretty normal to have one. Pretty much everyone does. But if you walk around with 10 heads, some people might assume that you decapitated 9 people. Even just one extra head will start to draw suspicion from most people. I think literally everything can become suspicious if you own a lot of it. Thanks for watching the video guys. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.